Friends, today is Tuesday, July 15, 2025. You're watching a VPC Daily Devotional. I am Reverend Dr. Dave Joynt. You can also get these devotionals in a written form if you want to come visit us on McDonald and Quail Run in Paradise Valley, where those streets come together. This is where our campus is located, and these are free. You can also catch the written versions online at vpc.church. Today I'm going to read to us a passage from the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus' famous sermon in Matthew. This occurs early on in Matthew 5, not long after the Beatitudes. And in this, Jesus takes the 10th commandment that we looked at, one of the 10 commandments we looked at yesterday, the 6th command, you shall not murder, and he amplifies it. So let's listen for the word of the Lord. You've heard that it was said to you, those of ancient times, that is a reference to this commandment number 6 in both Deuteronomy 5 and in Exodus 20. You shall not murder. Whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with your brother or sister, you'll be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you'll be liable to the council, like a judicial procedure. And if you say, you fool, you'll be liable to the hell of fire, the Gehenna. Now, we're familiar with this wonderful word thesis. And a thesis, of course, is used to describe a long paper that you write to get a degree or an accreditation. But it also refers to a point of view, an angle of vision, a claim about something. And there's a word that means the opposite of a claim. That's an antithesis. That's an opposite claim or a contending view. And then there's a word that's less familiar that is also has Greek roots. It's called an epithesis. And an epithesis is a view that is deepened or amplified, made more significant, put in a stronger form. And that's what Jesus is doing in Matthew 5. He's taking the commandment against physical murder and he's extending it psychologically and also verbally. He's saying, if you use language that denigrates, if you are thinking in ways that are angry, that are dehumanizing people, or are not recognizing their infinite value, not regarding them within an infinite regard, then you are already breaking the sixth command, the spirit of the sixth commandment. This is both very psychologically powerful, and it's a recognition by Jesus of what has come to be called in policing zero tolerance. And the idea of zero tolerance as it's used in policing is that if you let a lot of smaller crimes go and there's no punishment that is attached to the smaller crimes, it emboldens larger crimes. If, however, you are diligent in preventing certain smaller crimes, you make the larger crimes less likely. You create a form of deterrence. Now, Jesus recognized that the big crimes and more dramatic crimes of taking a life or doing physical violence to someone, those have their origin in attitudes in the heart and in thoughts that are in the mind. And usually they issue in words that denigrate and condemn before they become physical actions. So one of the ways to stop the physical actions is to begin to work at the emotions and at the habits we have with language. If we can learn not to criticize, if we can deal with the pools of bitterness or the fog of resentment or the anger, that what the Bible calls orge, that we hold on to, get our word orgy from that, like an orgy of anger that we can brood on and increase and just meditate on. If we get rid of that, then we greatly lessen the possibilities of external violence. Let's take a moment and pray. Lord, help us to have zero tolerance with ourselves. Drain those pools of anger and bitterness. Lift that fog of resentment. Help us to feel the fresh wind of your compassion and your spirit. We ask it in your Son's name. Amen.